Hey, what's up everyone? Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound, and today in this video, we're going to talk about probably one of the more decorated coins in US type collecting, and that's the 1909 Lincoln cent. Now, it seems very straightforward. This video, of course, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia and the San Francisco straw coins. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about values, what you can expect for coins based off of some of the previous sold values. But most importantly, we're going to talk a little bit about the history about this particular coin because we have celebrated over 110 years of Lincoln cent love, and it is by far today one of the most popular US type coins. I know for a fact that most new collectors, if they're looking for a specific coin to kind of put their fingers into and really just dissect, it's going to be the Lincoln Cent series. So the 1909 is, well, it's the foundation for one of the most widely collected series to date, and nothing's going to change. This is going to be something exciting to talk about. You've probably seen other videos from other content creators talking about the 1909 Lincoln Cent, but I'm telling you, the prices, they're not as clear cut as some people are making it to be. A lot of folks typically focus on the higher end type of coins that typically sell for 10, 20, 30, $40,000. And sure, we're going to get our full run of those particular coins in this list, but realistically, how much are the coins going for in just about every condition? That's a question I get all the time. So it always helps to kind of take a look at the different variances of this coin. Believe it or not, it's a very complex coin with a lot going for it. First, a little quick update. Whatnot. I am a seller on this platform, and it's one of the fastest growing live auction sites that you'll ever come across. And I encourage you guys to check things out. If not to buy, but maybe sell, kind of supplement your eBay account that I know a lot of people are trying to build up as a way of making some great extra money, if not a supplement to their current job, but perhaps maybe a replacement. You get really good at it, then it comes as second nature. So I have a show every Friday. As you know, I'm taking tonight off, but we'll be back again next Friday. We're actually going to be giving away a copy of the Cherry Picker's Guide, the one that covers Lincoln cents and nickels. It's one of the biggest ones, and we finally got a extra supply of these back in. So we're going to be giving away one of these to one lucky winner next Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Come join us. It's going to be a fantastic time, as always, every week. And then, of course, we're going to have our auctions. We're going to be selling U.S. type coins, some bullion. We've sold silver and gold before, and platinum. We also have paper money in there, currency. So there's going to be a wide range of different items for all different types of collectors. So if you're not all yet joined up on the platform, please do so. I have my referral link down below in the description box, and I'll probably have it pinned in comments as well. If you sign up under me, you get $15 off your very first purchase, whether that's with me or one of the other great sellers on the platform. And it doesn't matter if it's coins, paper money, bullion. It could be comic books. It could be sneakers. It could be vintage watches. You name it. $15 can really make an impact on that. But finally, we are looking for great sellers on this platform as well. If you're looking to do so, I've also entered in below in the description box my referral link to become a seller. They're looking for spirited, just ready to go, ready just to dive in to this platform. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to not only sell extra inventory or to make it a business, but it's a great way to meet people as well. A lot of other like-minded folks who are collectors, and it's awesome. So go ahead and check things out. They're looking to sign you up today, tomorrow, yesterday, you name it. All right, so the 1909 Lincoln cent. If you were going to come across one, odds are it's going to look like this. It's not the prettiest, right? It looks like it's been around the block a few, maybe 100 dozen times. But, we can't dismiss the look of a well circulated 1909 Lincoln set. And, fortunately, in this video, we talk about some of those lower grade pieces as well, because they are, ladies and gentlemen, not worth 1 cent because of that importance of it being the very first coin. Now, the coin, both the obverse and the reverse, were designed by a gentleman by the name of Victor David Brenner. All right, VDB. All right, if you switch the letters around, it's BVD, which is like an old brand of underwear they used to sell back in the 1980s. But that's a story for another day. VDB, Mr. Brenner, just really cemented his legacy with this coin right here. With Lincoln looking to the right, you got the date, the wheat stalks on the reverse, which became kind of a staple on this coin, going all the way up to 1958 before the reverse was redesigned to the Lincoln Memorial. Frank Gasparo, we could thank him for that design change. But this is a coin, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of people have held, all right, 1909. Now, there are a couple different variances of the 1909 Philadelphia minted coins. Now, keep in mind, and this is kind of like a topic of contention, why don't they put a P mint mark on these? Well, they just didn't, because that was the original part of the design. It was kind of a known fact, a given, that any coin without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and that's also including proof issues. So they just ran with it. That's just the way that they designed it. And we've grown to get used to it. Over 110 years old of staring at this obverse of Lincoln. I mean, come on now. We should all be used to it. This one right here, no doubt about it, is a Philadelphia minted coin. The mint mark, if it's a Denver or San Francisco minted coin, will be placed right underneath the date. All right, and the variances in which that placement is under the date can vary. All right, so if one looks a little bit too low, one's too high, it's okay. We're all again used to various placements that are within the tolerances of the mint standards. So when we look at a coin like this, okay, something like this, and keep in mind there's 2 different variances of the Philadelphia 1909s. The second one is this one here. Now, what's different? Well, Mr. Brenner felt like that he's done a well enough job and he wanted to really toot his horn a little bit. They decided in great big letters, or big enough to really catch some attention, to put his initials on the reverse. If you look down below where the 6 o'clock position on the reverse is, you're going to see VDB. Okay? So this was something that happened. He implemented it. He added it to the actual working design, the working die. And it was the first go around. Now, this particular iteration of the 1909P Lincoln cent is referred to as the 1909 VDB because of the initials. It's incredibly popular because of that. 27,995,000 pieces were produced. Now, here's the caveat. There are more 1909 VDB examples in higher grades above AU condition. Everybody was ready to collect this coin. They just were. So a lot of the coins were saved at the highest rate of preservation. Now, we can't really say the same about the non-VDB 1909P. Actually, the first coin that we looked at moments ago that did not have VDB on the reverse was actually a change brought on by the powers that be in the government and the U.S. Mint. They said, hey, Victor, you can't have your initials prominently displayed over there. We actually take that as kind of an insult. So let's go ahead and remove that off the working die. And that's exactly what they did. And here's how much of a hand slap that was. They didn't put Victor's initials back on the coin until 1918, 9 years later. So this was kind of a big deal. Circulated examples of the 1909 VDB are actually very desired, especially when they look like this one here. They could sell for as high as $20, $25 in XF condition. It's a coin that today, people are looking at high enough grades where they don't have to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for a mint state example. They want one that looks this nice that maybe they could add to an album or designate it as a type piece for a type collection. The previous coin that we looked at, and I actually have a great example of one here that's in like really nice mid-state brown condition. The lower end of the totem pole of the 1909 non-VDB examples, like the first coin we looked at that look like it's been through a few cash registers, those coins actually sell for about $2 to $5. Okay, it really depends on condition at that lower level. You know, they could go all the way up to about VF20 and still be an affordable coin. It's only when they get into the AU mid-state grades where these things begin to take off. For example, the coin that you see in front of you on screen right now, pieces like this typically sell for between $40, $50, all the way up to about $100 plus, depending on what level of red the coin exhibits. The more oxidation to make the coin a little bit more brown, collectors will see that as less desirable. Therefore, they're going to pay toward the lower end of that scale at the $40, $50 range. But make no mistake, this is a coin, ladies and gentlemen. If you looked at any other date after 1909, that's a Philadelphia coin like a 10, 11, 12, they don't carry that very strong sales price on any of those other coins because this is the innovator. This is the OG. This is the first year of the Lincoln cent. Now, if you want nuts, the 1909 VDB in mint state condition, doesn't matter if it's a mint state brown, red brown, or full red. Be absolutely careful. Full red specimens can sell into the hundreds of dollars. And some of the coins come up really beautiful with this improper alloy mix. I actually have one here for you on screen where you have the nice woody wood grain striations on the obverse and reverse of the coin. This is a coin, ladies and gentlemen, in this condition that sells easily for $250 to $500 raw. And as long as someone's able to look at that coin in hand, they're going to pay you the money because these, again, the innovative OG date, the first year of the Lincoln cent in mid-state condition, this is a great compromise to what is going to be, and we're going to have this here in a moment, some of the most expensive coins that you'll ever lay eyes on. And it's all in the first year of the Lincoln cent. Now, the highest mintage out of both coins, and we're just going to go back to the previous coin here, the non-VDB reverse, 72,702,618 pieces were produced, nearly 3 times the amount as the VDB. So they weren't even a few months into the production of this coin. The mint powers that be said, Victor, you can't have your initials on the reverse. We got to take it out. And that was very early on in the production schedule. All right. And again, 1909 VDB specimens. It doesn't matter what level of mid-state. Usually the mid-state browns tend to sell for between $75 and $100. I've sold many of these in mid-state brown and red brown. And I could tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, it's one of the strongest selling Lincoln cents that I have in my stable. I just can't keep these in inventory for that long. They are consistent, wildly popular sellers. Now, let's get into a little bit of a rarity, all right? There are San Francisco minted coins, okay? Same verse as the first. There are 1909S Lincoln wheat cents without VDB on the reverse, and there are also examples that have VDB on the reverse. The 1909S VDB Lincoln wheat cent is by far, by today's standards, kind of like the golden child of the Lincoln cent series. Some people would say you don't have a legit collection until you have one of these in your collection. I would say that's kind of false because there's really no wrong way to collect. Some people collect on budget. Some people do collect based off grade and rarity. All right. But we can't ignore the lower end kind of budget minded folks out there. And, the 1909S without the VDB initials on the reverse actually has a pretty wild range, a long range of different prices. If you remember that 1909P that I showed you, the very first one in this video, if you had an S-Mint version without the VDB initials, you could actually obtain one of those for around $60 to $80 in that lower grade. You know, something like a Fine 12, VG10, Arena. They are actually very affordable, and you get to have a coin that is a much lower specimen. Like the 1909S non-VDB, there was only 1,825,000 pieces that were made of that particular coin. So it's low enough mintage figure that kind of puts it in semi-key territory, and it's a really special coin. One that you pay $60 to $80 for is it end up being probably one of your more cherished pieces if you're looking at it from a budget perspective. Now, of course, we have that VDB version. This is the big one. Only 484,000 1909S VDB coins were ever produced. It is the linchpin of the Lincoln Cent series. If you have one of these, you have finally arrived. You would say that everything else that you need to add to your Lincoln Cent collection will be kind of a cakewalk at this point. And that's even talking about the 1922 plain no mint mark, the 1914D. Those are coins that you could obtain for a few $100s. The 22 plain, you probably had to spend around $500-$600 with one with the weak reverse. But the 1909S, these things have appreciated so much that the entry-level floor for a decent example is around $1,000 to $1,200 in an incredibly circulated condition coin. One that grades like Fine 12, Fine 15. It's still a $1,000 coin right there. What's it going to take to get a coin under $1,000? Well, a much lower grade, number one. Number two, it might have some issues, some environmental damage on there. It might be bent. It might have too many contact marks. There's a lot of things that go on that determine the value of a coin. So we have to take a look at everything. But this, ladies and gentlemen, the lower mintage, the just overall kind of like extravagance of being able to afford one of these, this is kind of like the big chaser out of this. This is 1909, ladies and gentlemen, is the date that fulfills a lot of needs. Okay, you have the lower budget tiered folks with the 1909 non-VDB, lower end VDB coins that are Philadelphia struck, and then the 1909S non-VDB. Those will fulfill the low-end budgets pretty well. And then you have coins like this. But we're not even done yet. I mean, take a look at this one here. This is an exceptional piece that we're showing you here. Mid-State 67 red, the higher-end graded pieces, they're sent off to companies like PCGS and NGC, just to ensure that they have a legitimate example, because this is one of the more commonly counterfeited dates of US type coins, along with the 1916D Mercury dime and a few others. So this particular example you see here, and if money were no object, this is a great kind of lesson here of what you could really do damage with. This is a Mid-State 67 red. This one particular coin sold on Heritage Auctions back in 2017. So it wasn't even that long ago, 7 years ago, to the tune of $61,687.50. Again, if money were no object, you could spend $60,000. It's like buying a brand new freaking like BMW or Audi or something. It's that big of a coin with a very hefty price tag. But if you're looking for something that, again, is more exclusive and more rich, that you maybe didn't know they produced in 1909, how about the proof coins? All right, they produce some really pretty matte finish proof coins, very exclusive numbers, and they also made them in the non-VDB and with the VDB reverse coins. And they were both produced at the Philadelphia Mint. So this is the non-VDB example here. You're going to notice, and I've had a lot of people ask me, well, Sean, how can you tell the difference between a business strike, which is one that's made for circulation, and a proof struck coin? The proof Lincolns in the teens and 1909 look a lot different. They're just much more hammered in the strike department. They have more blockier edges and rims to them. They are quite impressive. You know, if you looked at this and a regular business strike, you could see the difference. It's just put together a lot more. So the difference here, this one right here has a mintage of only 2,618. Don't let that fool you. It's actually really, really rare. It feels like that there's probably less than that. The example that you see here is a Proof 67 red. It's got a khaki green bean on it. Again, sold on Heritage Auctions back in 2020 for $31,200. Again, it's not for the faint at heart. It's a very rich coin, but we gotta save the best for last. The 1909 VDB Proof Strike. This is also a matte proof finish. It's very similar to the previous coin. It's got a very hammered strike. The details just really popping off this coin. You have the blockier kind of really cut edges and rims on this one. That looks nothing like a business strike Lincoln. And this particular one, only 1,194 pieces were produced. This is an incredibly exclusive coin. There's only so many to go around. I guarantee you there are more Lincoln cent collectors than 1,194. This particular one is a Mint State 67 red. Sorry, I put the wrong picture on there. The coin we just looked at is actually a Proof 66 Plus CAC Green Bean by PCGS that's sold on Heritage Auctions just recently here in 2024 to the tune of $66,000. My goodness, what an incredible coin. So as you can see at a glance, you have coins that are worth a few bucks. You have some that are worth 20 to 30, 40 to 50, 60 to 70, 80. Again, it's a very wide range of different collector levels, but I tell you what, if you found one of these, you should know how much they're worth. All right, if you need help, it's always good to look at sold archives on eBay. It's always a good idea to talk to other people to ensure that you have a legit example, especially if there's an estimate mark on there. But, you know, it's a coin that everybody needs to own if they're A, really heavy into the Lincoln Cent series, and B, if you're just a fan of US type coins. You need this one in your collection. It is the King of Kings for a bunch of different reasons across all budget levels. It is a fun coin to collect into. I have owned as many as about 125 of these, all right, in different grades, all different types, S-mints, VDBs, you name it. The only ones I haven't owned are the proofs. The proofs are a little bit out of reach for me. You know, I'm not that financially connected, of course, but some of you maybe are. But yeah, it's a very fun coin. I hope you guys had fun listening in onto this. Of course, I got to throw out this little kind of fine print here. The information provided in this video is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. Please do collect and or grade your coins responsibly. I am your host, Sean. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your evening to come join me to talk about the 1909 Lincoln. And we haven't even talked about varieties and errors and all that stuff. There are some of that can be found on this coin. Again, it's very fun. Go ahead and buy one for yourself. And if you have one already, you know what it's worth. It's worth holding on to because these are really neat, fascinating coins with a rich history. Well, that's going to go ahead and do it for myself. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. You guys have a wonderful evening. Keep on collecting, my friends, and I will see you on the next coin video.